War Eagle, welcome to Eagle Eye TV. I'm Jared Dillard.
And I'm Melissa Mitchell. Topping our news, a robbery occurred on Saturday at 1:45 in the morning when a woman and two male friends were walking along Toomer Street near the Lambda Chi house.
Two men came up to the group and took a woman's cell phone from her. The victim was not injured and no weapons were seen or used.
The victim notified the Auburn Police Department shortly after. Will Matthews, the APD Assistant Chief of Police, announced that two juveniles were detained and the cell phone was recovered. While one suspect was charged with disorderly conduct, the other was released.
Also happening Saturday, Auburn locals came out by the thousands this weekend for the city's first ever Mardi Gras parade.
The event was organized by Crew de Tigres, which was founded in 2016.
This past Saturday, purple, gold, and green lined the streets of downtown Auburn in Auburn's first Mardi Gras parade.
Waited for this for a long time in Auburn, first time ever, so we're pumped up about it, absolutely.
Hosted by the social organization Crew de Tigres, the parade united the Auburn community in celebrating Alabama's history of Mardi Gras and providing entertainment for the whole family.
I know they don't do this normally, but it's a lot of fun. For the most part, yeah, it's a good time.
Where numerous businesses and organizations participated in the parade, some organizations used the parade as a platform to bring awareness to a cause.
Well, we're with the Lee County Humane Society, and the crew invited us out because they're big supporters of the Humane Society, and they asked if we'd want to come walk some dogs.
Designed after the parades in Mobile and New Orleans, combining the festivities of Mardi Gras with the spirit of Auburn might just be tradition in the making. Reporting for Eagle Eye TV in Auburn, I'm Kara Rhodes.
The parade featured floats and a special musical performance from the Tuskegee University Marching Band.
Some consumer news this evening. JCPenney has announced that they are planning on closing 130 or more stores, along with 2 distribution centers.
These closings are said to be occurring over the next several months. Other stores also could be closing down, like Macy's and Sears, due to competition with online sellers.
JCPenney stated on Friday that it is closing 13 to 14% of its locations and producing new material in its remaining stores to improve profitability.
While the list of stores closing has yet to be released, we'll keep you updated if the JCPenney in the Auburn Mall plans to shut its doors.
Last Friday, the 908th Airlift Wing of Maxwell Air Force Base retired its Auburn-dedicated War Eagle C-130 plane. During the 31 years of service to the United States Air Force, War Eagle has accumulated 12,000 flying hours and has supported humanitarian and relief, both abroad and at home.
In 2005, while flying over Iraq, War Eagle was hit by a rocket on its No. 2 engine, which caused the plane to catch fire. The aircraft managed to land safely with 55 soldiers on board. This courageous effort earned War Eagle a Purple Heart, which is painted at the entrance of the plane.
Today we're here to transfer the heritage of aircraft 0040, better known as War Eagle, to its new home on aircraft 9142.
First off, congratulations to the 908th Airlift Wing. I know this is a very special day for them. They love these airplanes, and they especially love Auburn University. But it means a lot for Auburn. It means a lot for the cadets that came with us today, the future officers that will be leading the United States Air Force, and that one day may be flying these aircraft or maintaining these aircraft or leading those that do. So it's very special for them, I think, to see that their alma mater is the logo is put on the side of a United States Air Force airplane, an airplane that's going to be delivering air power around the world, and not only representing the Air Force, but representing Auburn University as well.
What's really important to a lot of us is that we serve an entire career, or a major portion of our career with this unit. We've had people who've actually flown and maintained these airplanes their entire career over the 31 years that they've been with the unit. And so as we see them go, it represents all the travels, it represents the blood, sweat, and tears put into maintaining the aircraft and performing the mission for all these years. And so there's a lot of investment in these airplanes. They're not just a piece of metal. They are part of our pride and part of our effort and part of the pride that we have in doing the mission. But also we take that Alabama pride with us wherever we go.
For the men and women that worked on this for the course of their career, a big thank you for what they've done. And I'm going to give everybody a big War Eagle.
Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Wellborn brought a message from Auburn University's President Gooch stating, "We are honored that the War Eagle has represented Auburn throughout his distinguished military career. Over his 31 years in service, the War Eagle has witnessed firsthand the dangers associated with defending our great nation. Auburn has a long history of celebrating the United States military and all the brave men and women who serve in it."
And on behalf of President Gooch and Auburn University, we wish the new War Eagle C-130 Hercules all the best. The legacy of War Eagle will live on through a newer model of the C-130 Hercules.
If you plan to head to the beach for spring break, listen to this.
Panama City Beach, Gulf Shores, and Orange Beach all instituted a ban on alcohol on the beaches. The ban goes into effect March 3rd and is in effect through mid-April. Officers say that violations will lead to arrests.
In Panama City, bars will be closing early, and in Gulf Shores, some venues will be hiring more private security and using ID scanners to ensure that those trying to purchase alcohol are over 21. As for both Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, no alcohol will be allowed on the public beach, and no glass is allowed.
Coming up, Grace Reynolds has the highlights from last night's Oscars Awards and how you can give back to Auburn. You're watching Eagle Eye TV on Channel 6.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis.
45, there goes Davis!
Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hey guys, I'm Grace Reynolds, and this is Eagle Eye Entertainment. Actor Bill Paxton passed away this past Saturday at age 61 due to complications from surgery. His family released a statement informing the public of his death, adding Paxton was a loving husband and father who went on to have an illustrious career spanning 4 decades. Paxton's last film, The Circle, is set to release on April 28th. The 89th Academy Awards went down as one of the most memorable in recent history. The Oscars red carpet decided to make a quiet political statement with many stars, including nominees Lin-Manuel Miranda, Ruth Negga, and Casey Affleck, all donning blue ACLU ribbons. The night was full of firsts, with Mahershala Ali becoming the first Muslim to win an Oscar for his role in Moonlight. Viola Davis also picked up a trophy for her role in Fences, and she became the first African American to win the Triple Crown for acting. To almost no one's surprise, La La Land took home an impressive 6 Oscars, including Best Actress for Emma Stone and Best Direction for Damien Chazelle. And at the age of 32, Chazelle is the youngest filmmaker to the award. But without a doubt, the biggest surprise of the night was the Best Picture award. Oscar winners Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty presented the award and announced that the winner was La La Land. But as the La La Land team gave speeches, production rushed on stage to announce that La La Land was not the winner, but that Barry Jenkins's Moonlight had won. Moonlight made history as the first LGBT film with an all-African American cast to take the top honor. For a full list of winners, visit Oscars.com. The Red Barn Series is back. The annual concert series returns this Thursday and Friday evenings. As of now, University Program Council has not announced this year's performers, but in the past, this event has shined a spotlight on local alternative performers. The event will also include food, cornhole, and coffee on both nights. Doors open to students at 5:30. The big event has finally arrived for the big event. The big event is a student-run volunteer day that encourages Auburn students and faculty to give back to the Auburn and Opelika communities. Students will spend the day providing basic community service tasks for households, businesses, churches, and organizations as a way to say thank you for making Auburn such a great place to live. The big event will be held this weekend on Saturday, March 4th. You can go to AU Involve for more information. Registration for the big event ends in 3 days, so make sure you register while you still can. We close out tonight with a live look at New York's Animal Adventure Park's Giraffe Cam. All eyes have been on April, a 15-year-old pregnant giraffe expected to give birth to her 5th calf any moment. The live stream began last Thursday as April began labor, but she has yet to give birth. The Animal Adventure Park updated viewers Sunday evening, saying that she is doing well and has a continued increase in belly movement. As many students prepare for spring break in 11 days, Auburn's University's organization, Alternative Student Breaks, is an option that many are considering. This spring break, there are 4 trips planned to Ecuador, the Dominican Republic, Florida, and North Carolina to help those around them. News anchor Jared Dillard is with Hunter Witten, the president of ASB, to discuss more about the organization and the opportunities for students this spring break. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
Thanks, Grace. And joining me today is the president of Alternative Student Breaks, Hunter Witten. Hunter, nice
Thank you for having me.
So, Alternative Student Breaks started out, we were talking before the show, as spring breaks.
Yes.
So, you know, when people think about Alternative Student Breaks, they think spring break because, you know, spring break can get a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So tell me about that transition from focusing on spring breaks to just, you know, most breaks now.
So ASB, which is what we call it, was founded in 2008, and as you said, started as just a spring break trip. We took our first trip to Charleston, South Carolina, took about 18 students. So over the past few years, we've added winter break trips, fall break trips, and Martin Luther King Day trips. So this year we took 5 winter break trips, 1 fall break, 1 day trip over MLK, and then we're only taking 4 spring breaks. So technically we're taking more trips over other breaks than we are over spring break. But we do easily get confused. You know, everybody thinks ASB, alternative spring break, but we do offer a little bit more, so that's what we're trying to get the word out about that.
And you were telling me about how you guys are partnering with big events, your big project, you know, big event students are going out there and helping the community. So tell me about how Alternative Student Breaks got involved with the big event and what you guys plan to do.
So our cubicle upstairs on the 3rd floor of the Student Center partners with the big event, so we sit right beside them. So this year, you know, we thought, you know, we do a community service training for all of our trips before they go out on their trip. So we thought it'd be a good idea to partner with Big Event on March 4th, which is the biggest philanthropy day for Auburn students throughout the entire year. So we're sending 4 groups plus our staff, so about 55 students will be partnering with Big Event, painting, raking leaves, you're just doing whatever they need us to do. So it's going to be a really cool opportunity, really cool collaboration effort on both sides.
So tell me how Alternative Student Breaks, when a big break like spring break is happening, like what is going through your mindset preparing for this trip to go somewhere?
Yeah, so we have, you know, a weekly training with all of our site leaders, so just kind of getting them prepared, risk management, you know, protocol, you know, what to do if this situation happens. But we also do 3 trainings for all of our participants. You know, they do a first training that's, you know, the details and basics about the trip, you know, what they're going to do, where they're going, where they're staying. And then we do a second training that's team building activities. So, you know, it's kind of getting them out of their comfort zone, getting them used to working inside of a group. And then our 3rd training's with Big Event. But we do, like I said, the weekly trainings with our staff, you know, those are very important for us. You know, that's where we go over, you know, situations that have happened in the past, you know, on former trips, and just kind of getting them prepared for any situation that may come about. So hopefully whenever they're on the trip, you know, whatever comes up, they're more than prepared to handle it.
And tell me about the day-to-day operations of your organization. You said how you do weekly training with your staff, and I'm not sure many organizations that does do that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your staff and what you guys have accomplished this year.
So this year we have 10 staff members who are Alternative Student Break site leaders. So that means they're the person leading the trip. So they are the head point on the trip. You know, for our fall break trip, our site leader was Connor Cate, and he was the head guy. You know, he did all the day-to-day operations. You know, if something was going wrong, he was the one picking up the phone and calling us. He coordinated with the site and with the housing. So we have that with each and every trip where they kind of head up that. But during the day-to-day, you know, we are just kind of getting them prepared. Like I said, we do old scenarios from old past trips throughout the years. just kind of getting them like, hey, this is something that happened 2 years ago, just in case it was to come back up, because you never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
But most of, like I said, it's a lot of risk management. They have a big binder of all kinds of protocols that they have to go through. So it's their job to kind of sift through the binder and make sure that they know everything to be expected for. And all of our site leaders have been on an ASB trip before, so they kind of know the feel of what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, and how the week goes.
All right, Hunter, thanks for meeting us in the studio.
Thank you, Jared.
No problem. And now let's head over to Leah with more in Auburn sports.
Men's and women's basketball seasons are coming to a close. Auburn is dominating on the diamond, and one student got lucky at the basketball game. I'm Aaliyah Smith, and this is Eagle Eye Sports. Auburn baseball is heating up the diamond. The Tigers hosted Holy Cross, sweeping the series in the first 2 games. Auburn shut out Holy Cross and then topped the series off with a 13-4 blowout win on Sunday. Next on the schedule for Auburn is Sanford Tuesday at Plainsman Park. Starting this season, there will now be a new student-seated Auburn baseball games at Plainsman Park. A platform seating that holds approximately 100 people has been added to the right field. The platform, which is located right in front of the South Donahue Residence Hall, is first come, first serve. Students will also be able to bring their own food and drinks to the area, which has the baseball program hopeful that the attendance will increase. This decision to add this kind of seating comes after the SEC ballparks such as Swayze Field at Ole Miss. They saw great attendance at the games after adding similar seating. Through the first few games of the season, these seats have been completely packed out. Softball continues to dominate early in the season. Auburn shut out Yale and number 13 James Madison in a doubleheader Saturday. The Tigers also threw their first no-hitter of the season against Yale. The story would be different Sunday. James Madison handed Auburn its first loss at home this season. In a pitcher's duel, the final score, James Madison 1, Auburn 0. The 14th ranked Auburn gymnastics team returned to Auburn Arena last Friday night to take on the number 2 LSU Tigers. Auburn scored 196 points but came up short and lost to LSU. Auburn concludes its SEC schedule on the road Friday against Missouri. Women's basketball is coming to a close. The team hosted LSU for the last home game of the season. It was senior night for the Auburn women's basketball team as they hosted the LSU Tigers. Auburn finished the game on an 11-1 run over the final 90 seconds, and Janiyah McKay played a huge role in that.
Well, I thought about what Coach said in shoot around, and she said you can't live and die by every shot. And so we knew they were going to fall eventually, but we had to focus on our defense to get easy offense. And I hadn't been as aggressive as I could have been, so in the fourth quarter, I was just like, everything's going to the rack. And so that's what I did, and it worked out.
Here's Brandy Montgomery with the steal as she led the team with 15 points on her senior night.
It's really huge. I commend my teammates so much. I thank them for stepping up. Diving on the floor with the migraine, getting that loose ball, and making a play on the other end. It's huge, and I have my teammates to thanks for that.
Auburn closes out the regular season Sunday at Arkansas. Aaliyah Smith, Eagle Eye Sports. The Tigers travel to Arkansas Sunday, winning 70-64 in the last regular season game. Auburn finished with a 17-13 record for the season. Auburn is set for an 11 a.m. tip-off against Georgia this Thursday in the SEC tournament. After falling to Texas A&M, then bouncing back to beat LSU last week, the Auburn men's basketball team looked to finish the season strong when they hosted Arkansas Saturday night.
Saturday night basketball, Auburn hosted Arkansas in the Auburn Arena.
With only 2 home games remaining in the season and free Chick-fil-A sandwiches, students couldn't pass up the opportunity of coming to the game.
It was back and forth in the first half. Arkansas would lead Auburn 40-31 at halftime. On the Arkansas side, Jalen Barford led in scoring with 20 points, the 4th time for him this season. Dustin Hannas was another big factor in the game as predicted. He finished with 18 points. As for Auburn, a 17-point game from Jared Harper and a 16-point game from Mustafa Heron could not pull the Tigers into solidifying the lead. It also didn't help that the Tigers began to fall apart toward the end of the game. They shot 52% from the free throw line and missed several open shots. Arkansas would take the 79-68 road game victory, picking up their 11th SEC win of the season.
The most disappointed in is the fact that we just haven't defended our home floor. Particularly in conference play. You know, Austin had a couple, and we didn't do a good job getting that ball into Austin enough, and then when they did get in, they fouled him hard, and you know, he missed 4 free throws.
Defensively, I thought we did a good job of really trying to cover their shoes. They made 10 threes tonight, which is what they feed off of, but I thought we did a good job of limiting them to the second shots. They're playing pretty good basketball. When you can come in this environment and play with that kind of poise. And that was a big word, poise.
I told him prior to the LSU game, I said, look, we got to go 3-1. We got to beat, including a win over Georgia. That's what we have to do as far as how I looked at. So it means we got to win our last 2 games to be able to once again be in position where we can pretty much, you know, do what we thought we could do.
In Auburn, Casey Cooper, Eagle Eye Sports.
The Tigers have struggled protecting home court. With Arkansas's win, the Razorbacks picked up their 11th SEC win this season, which is 6th time in program history. Auburn is back in action Wednesday night when they travel to Georgia. While the game didn't go the way that Auburn fans would have liked it, it was a night to remember for Auburn student Ben Bodie. At halftime of every home game, Auburn's men's basketball game, a student is selected to participate in the Golden Flakes $5,000 tuition shootout. For the men's basketball game against Arkansas, Junior Bodie was chosen and given 24 seconds to make a layup, free throw, three-pointer, and a half-court shot. Bodie hit all 4 shots and won the $5,000 towards his tuition. Eagle Eye's Casey Cooper got a chance to chat with Bodie after his lucky night at Auburn Arena.
Thanks, Aaliyah. I'm Casey Cooper here with Ben Bodie, who just received $5,000 towards tuition. I'm sure you've all seen it by now, but he made a layup, free throw, 3-point shot, and a half-court shot to get that towards his tuition. Ben, walk us through what was going on in your head to when you took the first shot and when the last shot went through the basket.
Well, to start, I almost missed the layup, which was kind of embarrassing. But after that, I knew I just wanted to make the free throw and the three-pointer just to say I made it the half-court shot. And at the point when I got there, I knew I was going to do the granny shot because that's what my high school coach taught me, and I've been doing that ever since. And I don't know, when it left my hands, it felt really good, and it went in, and it was awesome. So.
And I know the crowd just erupted as soon as that half-court shot went in. What was that like for you?
I mean, it's probably the coolest thing that'll happen to me in a long, long time. I mean, having, I don't know, like 6,000, 7,000 people cheering for you all at once, and it doesn't get any better than that.
So did you practice before going into that competition?
I did about 2 hours before in the morning, or no, for 2 hours in the morning of I practiced, and then every time I go to the gym, I always shoot a couple granny shot, half-court shots just for fun. So I guess that kind of paid off in the end.
All right, and I'm sure you told your parents afterwards, so how did you find out, and then what was their reaction?
I didn't tell them, actually. They found out, like, kind of weirdly fast. Like, before I got to my seat, I was already getting calls from them. I didn't even told them I was doing it, but they were pretty excited. I think my dad was just mostly excited, like, I just, like, done it and made the shots. I don't think they were, like, super, like, concerned, like, the tuition stuff, which is awesome, but I think they just thought it was, like, really cool, so.
And what did all your friends have to say about this?
I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of unbelievable. I mean, people thought I could do it, but, like, I think they just think that the granny shot's funny, to be honest, so.
Yeah, I know. I remember that night when I got home, I saw you all over Sports Centers all night long. Did you expect to get a lot of attention?
I kind of talked about that with my friends, and we thought, like, Ben, like, if you make a granny shot, half-court shot, like, that's going to blow up. So I don't know if I expected it to get that big, but, I mean, I kind of thought it'd go somewhere, so.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was really cool to be on ESPN too, right?
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, thank you for joining us. It was nice having you here, and congratulations again. And now I'm going to send it over to Zeke, who's going to give us a look into this week's weather.
Thank you. I'm Zeke Walters with your weekly weather. As we look at tomorrow's forecast here, it's going to be kind of cooler in the morning and warm up, but a high humidity throughout the day, as you can see here. 15% precipitation, so maybe overcast, hopefully won't rain on us tomorrow. As we look, though, at our weekly forecast here, Like I said, should be pretty partly cloudy tomorrow, and maybe have some warmer thunderstorms on Wednesday, and then get a little chillier as the sky clears up during the later part of the week. As we look at tomorrow's forecast for the whole country, it's going to be a little bit chillier in Utah, obviously, at 33 degrees, but definitely warmer here in the south. And as we look up at the local weather here, Auburn's going to stay pretty warm and not too much of a change here in Montgomery at 80 degrees. Should be a pretty warm day tomorrow, just a little bit overcast. And that's your weekly weather.
President Trump's nominee for Secretary of the Navy, Philip Bilden, has withdrawn his name from consideration.
Bilden and Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis' statements said Bilden's business interests created complications. He recently retired from a private equity investment management firm, according to a White House statement.
Mattis said he'd recommend another nominee to Trump in the coming days.
President Donald Trump has announced that he will not attend this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner, which makes him the first president in 36 years to skip this dinner.
The last president to miss the dinner was Ronald Reagan, who sat out because he was recovering from an assassination attempt in '81, although he still delivered remarks by phone.
President Trump announced that he would not be attending through a tweet that was sent out on Saturday morning, stating, and quote, "I will not be attending the White House Correspondents Association dinner this year. Please wish everyone well and have a great evening," end quote.
The Black Tie Dinner raises money for journalism scholarships and takes place every spring. This has created hostile relations between the media and the White House, and several news organizations have already withdrawn from the dinner in protest.
In Philadelphia, between 75 and 100 Jewish tombstones were overturned and damaged on Saturday night.
The police are still trying to find out who vandalized Mount Carmel Cemetery, as this incident is being classified as institutional vandalism.
The investigators have not yet discovered the motive behind the actions, but 2 weeks prior to this accident, about a dozen headstones were damaged at a Catholic cemetery nearby.
The vandalism at the Holy Redeemer Catholic Cemetery did not appear to target a specific group, and no connections to the recent vandalism have been made.
Democrats selected former Labor Secretary Tom Perez over Minnesota Representative Keith Ellison as their new chairman on Saturday.
Perez defeated Keith Ellison in a 235-200 vote among the Democratic National Committee's 435 members who cast ballots Saturday.
It took 2 rounds of voting to select a winner, after Perez found himself just 1 vote shy in the first ballot. The 5 other candidates, who had amassed 13.5 total votes, all exit the race before the second round began. After this short commercial, we will take a look at this week in Auburn history. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
This is a place where it only takes a second to imagine your future. Grasp a new concept in class. Inspire a child's curiosity. Discover a real-world solution. Seize an unexpected opportunity.
There goes Davis!
This is where you gain the preparation, confidence, and determination to succeed. This is Auburn.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis. 45, there goes Davis!
Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
This week in Auburn history, we look back at February 26, 1872, when the school changed their name from East Alabama Male College to Agricultural and Mechanical College.
The reason for the name change was because Alabama established the school separate from the state.
During these years as Ag and Mechanical College, women were first admitted and football was first played as a school sport, which later replaced polo as the main sport on campus.
All right, we'll take a look at a tweet here from Hunt Wright. He said the first football game between Auburn and Alabama was played February 22nd, 1893. The Agriculture and Mechanical College of Alabama, Auburn, won. All right, well, looks like we started our Iron Bowl rivalry pretty strong in 1893.
And from 1893 to now, that stadium's grown from a small little place to it gets crazy on Saturdays in the fall.
It definitely
for Auburn
does.
football.
Yes, well, we can't let Alabama forget that we won first, huh?
We'll never let them forget that.
If you would like to join the conversation, please use the hashtag EagleEyeTV on Instagram and Twitter. That's all we have for you tonight. Keep up with all the latest Auburn news throughout the week by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EagleEyeTV. I'm Melissa Mitchell.
And I'm Jared Dillard. And to end the show tonight, we're going to take another look at the Animal Adventure Park's live giraffe cam. Thanks for joining us, and War Eagle.